Around this time every season, college football takes a hard turn. The beginning of conference play litters the calendar with meaningful games. Week 5 is a prime example. Saturday's action features 4 top 25 matchups, highlighted by the primetime pairing of Alabama at Georgia and Oregon at Penn State. Although the expanded college football playoff has reduced the intensity of single results, the significance of a marquee win remains high. In addition, most other AP ranked teams are playing a conference game, and a majority of those matchups are on the road as well. This is the kind of weekend you'll need as many screens as possible. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by Michael Bullock. We are awaiting the presence of good old MF Michael Fletcher. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. Week 5, and this is one of those rare weeks where I have to refer to it as a smorgasbord Saturday because we've got so many appetizing matchups. But even before Saturday, we actually have 2 games tomorrow night. That's how big this week is. This is the most exciting week of action we've had yet when it comes to the top 25. So, with all that being said, let's dive on in to our first game of the week. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. over on ESPN, it will be the number 8 Florida State Seminoles on the road against the Virginia Cavaliers from Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, Virginia. And on the call for this game will be Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, and Chris Budden. And Florida State opens it up as a 7-point favorite, 7-point spread in favor of Florida State. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in to our first matchup of the week. On paper, this should be a straightforward Florida State win. Virginia gave up 216 yards and 4 touchdowns to North Carolina State's rushing attack a few weeks ago, and Florida State's strength is its ground game. However, a new-look Virginia offense has played well and probably will be a thorn at home. I think Florida State survives, but it's uncomfortable. Florida State wins. I'm going to say final score will be 31-24. Florida State holds off a very game Virginia team. I can consider this a trap game, but I still got to go with Florida State. So Florida State wins 31-24. Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts. Our first game of the week, a Friday game, no less. Number 8, Florida State at Virginia to kick off this loaded Week 5.
Yeah, I mean, this, like you said, this is, on paper, you could say, the Florida State should easily win this, but yeah, I think Virginia, they're gonna hang in there at the beginning of this and give Florida State fits, but I think eventually Florida State will pull away. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Florida State to win. And, yeah, it's going to be close at the beginning, but then Florida State will pull away at the end. So, it is yours.
All right, and we move on to the other game that will take place tomorrow night. 9 p.m. Eastern, over on Fox. The number 24 and back in the top 25, TCU Horned Frogs on the road against the Arizona State Sun Devils. Mountain America Stadium, formerly Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. On the call for this game on Fox, it'll be Tim Brando, Devin Gardner, and Josh Sims. And Arizona State is opening up as a 3-point favorite. So, Michael Bullock, TCU back in the top 25. It's been a minute since we've seen TCU in there. They're at number 24, but they got a tough game of their own against a solid Arizona State team in Tempe. So, who do you like here?
Yeah, Arizona State. They're a team. I mean, TCU shouldn't take this team lightly. I mean,
Oh no.
and there's a reason why that even though TCU, I mean, they're in the top 25 at number 24, but that Arizona State is a favorite by only that much. What does that tell you, Florio?
Well, it tells me, and it should tell us that Arizona State's got a legitimate chance to win this thing.
Yeah, they do have a legitimate chance to win this game, and you know what?
Are you going for it?
I'm going for it. I'm going to go.
Trigger?
I'm pulling the trigger here. I mean,
Okay.
if this game was in, I'll tell you this: if this was in TCU, I'd go with TCU. But it's Arizona State; they're at home, and they're going to give TCU fits. And I think it's going to be enough to pull off the upset. So, give me Arizona State to pull off the upset here. So, it is yours, Florio.
Oh wow! How do I follow that? Well, I shall do my best. Arizona State opened the season as the Big 12 favorite, and the Sun Devils are still a top contender. TCU, though, is making a strong case after a rout of North Carolina and a quality win against SMU. Playing on the road is tough, yes. However, I am aboard the Josh Hoover bandwagon, and I favor TCU's offense to pull this one out. So Bullock, I respectfully disagree with you. I'm going with TCU to win this game. My final score is going to be 30-26, TCU over Arizona State. However, I would not be surprised. I would not at all be surprised if Arizona State were to win this game. I would.
And since Fletch isn't here right now for the first time this season, you know I got to do it.
Do it. He's lone wolfing it, folks.
Yeet.
Yeet on that. All right. Now let's get into the Saturday slate. 3 games in the 12 noon window. And we started off with the number 16, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, on the road against the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. A Legacy Federal Credit Union Stadium in Winston-Salem. Game can be found over on ESPN. And on the call for that game, it'll be Mike Monaco, Kirk Morrison, and Dawn Davenport. And Georgia Tech opening up as a 14-point favorite. So let's get into this interesting ACC matchup. Oh, a moment. All right. If the Demon Deacons are unable to win at the line of scrimmage, Georgia Tech will run away, sometimes literally in a hurry. Georgia Tech has averaged 6.8 yards a carry this season, and Wake Forest ceded 205 yards at a 4.7-yard clip to NC State 2 weeks ago. I'm going with Georgia Tech to win this game. I think they keep this magical start going. 31-20. Give me Georgia Tech to defeat Wake Forest. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, can Georgia Tech keep up this magical hot start to their season that none of us saw coming?
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw this start of theirs coming, and you know what? I'm going to ride along with this. So I too am going with Georgia Tech to win this one and continue this magical start to the season that I think we all did not expect. So it is yours, Florio.
Are you ready for Big Noon Saturday on Fox?
Mm-hmm.
We always are. Big Noon Saturday on Fox, and we got a goodie here. The number 21 USC Trojans on the road against the number 23 Illinois Fighting Illini, Memorial Stadium, Champaign, Illinois. Big Noon Saturday on Fox. You know who that means. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl Jenny Taft. USC opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. Oh, Bullock, we got a tough one here. USC back in the top 25, although they were there last week. They took care of their business against the game Michigan State team in the Coliseum. Illinois, they got off to a great start, but then last week they ran into Indiana, and oh boy, did Indiana smash them. Oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah, this was and many people thought that this was going to be a really good game, but oh no, it wasn't even close from the get go. I mean, did you see this
Kudos
coming
to
for
MF.
you?
No, I didn't. I had Illinois. I had Illinois going into Indiana and winning that game, but credit to good old MF Michael Fletcher. He saw Indiana winning that game, and he was right.
Right. Yeah, I mean, but I don't think I don't think Fletcher would have expected it to be a blowout.
None of us did. 63-10. Holy wowzers.
Yeah, anybody who was expecting a 5-star classic, well, it was a 5-star classic, all right. 5-star classic of a dud. I mean, yeah, nobody expected this, and Illinois is not too happy about that performance, and you know what? I feel for USC because I think they're going to be facing an Illinois team that's angry, embarrassed, humiliated. They're at home. Yeah, as much as I like USC for especially what they did last week, there's an old saying, Florio. I think they're at the right place at the wrong time. I think Illinois wins this one, and I think they're going to get some payback after that embarrassing performance. Now, if it was a close one, I would go with USC. But after that pitiful performance there, this team is looking for a bounce back win in a big way. So I got Illinois winning. It's yours, Florio.
Wow. Okay. After an embarrassing 63-10 loss at Indiana last week, Illinois has a chance to get back on track opposite USC. However, it's undeniable that Indiana exposed a big defensive problem for the Illini, and a serious injury to star cornerback Xavier Scott is not going to help either. For the second time tonight, Michael Bullock, I respectfully disagree with you. I'm going with USC to win this game. My final score is going to be 31-20. USC defeats Illinois.
And you know what, Florio? With this being a smorgasbord of games, we could have a lot of disagreements tonight.
That would be something.
Yeah, that would be something.
Know. You never know. Let's find out if that trend continues here. So I got USC winning. So with that being said, let's move on to our final 12 noon game. And this is a big one for me. My team, the number 22 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, on the road against the Arkansas Razorbacks. Donald W. Reynolds, Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And this game can be found on ABC, and it'll be Dave Patch, Dusty Dvoracek, and Taylor McGregor. They will have the call of that one. And Notre Dame opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. But I'm not going to lie. You would think on paper that this favors Notre Dame, that Notre Dame should have no trouble. No, that's not the case. This Arkansas team is not as bad as you think. They're a lot better. Since defense has not been a strength for either program, I'll be honest, this is a giant toss-up. Notre Dame is more talented overall, but Arkansas has a dynamic quarterback in Taylon Green, who should frustrate a defense that has not generated much pressure. And because of that, there is a chance that this bad and disappointing start to the season for the Irish could get worse. I mean, losing at Miami, that was expected because Miami's a damn good team. They should have won against A&M, but they beat themselves. And then they finally got it right against Purdue. They put up 56 points. That's great. But the defense surrendered 30 to Purdue. That is a bit of a concern. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game, but I do believe Notre Dame will have just enough to pull it out. I'm going to say Notre Dame will win, barely, 34-30. I got Notre Dame defeating Arkansas. However, Notre Dame should most certainly be on upset alert because this Arkansas team is actually pretty decent, especially Taylor Green. He's going to have a big game, but I think Notre Dame will somehow find a way to get it done. You remember last year, they got up to a slow start. They righted the ship against Purdue, and then they were off and running after that. I think they found their mojo, and I'm hopeful that they'll keep it up here. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame, but it's not going to be easy. 34-30, Notre Dame over Arkansas. But would I be surprised if Arkansas steals this one? No. They're not as bad as you think. 34-30, Notre Dame over Arkansas. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, number 22, Notre Dame at Arkansas. Your thoughts?
This Arkansas team is definitely better than what people think, and I think they're going to give your Fighting Irish a whole ton of trouble. And I do think Notre Dame wins, but I mean, if Notre Dame if they take this team lightly, I think Arkansas could have a chance to pull off the upset. But I think they're going to be focused here, and I think they will somehow win this. But it's going to be it's going to be really, really close. But I would not be surprised if Arkansas pulls it off. So, but I'm going to go with Notre Dame to win this. So, it's yours, Florio.
All right, let's move on to our very rare 12:45 kickoff. This will be over on the SEC network. How about this? The number 18 Vanderbilt Commodores at home at First Bank Stadium in Nashville, and they're going to be welcoming the Aggies of Utah State. SEC network is where you can find this matchup. And it'll be Taylor Zarzar, Matt Stinchcomb, and Alyssa Lang on the call. And Vandy opening up as a 22.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, I don't think there's any argument here. The biggest surprise in college football this year, the Vanderbilt Commodores, number 18, and favored by 22.5? Wow.
Yeah, and I do expect this unbelievable start to the season for Vanderbilt to continue here. So I got Vanderbilt winning this one, and it won't be close. So it's yours, Florio.
Definitely. Texas A&M did not have a problem with Utah State earlier this month. Yet this is a thorny team. In particular, Bryson Barnes is an efficient and dangerous dual threat quarterback at his best. Vandy is not necessarily on upset alert, but don't be surprised if Utah State hangs around into the fourth quarter. But I do believe Vanderbilt should win this one comfortably. I'm going to say Vandy wins. Vanderbilt wins. My final score, 41-21, Vanderbilt over Utah State. And now we get into the 3:30 games. We have 4 of them. And we started off with the Big Ten on CBS, as it will feature the number 1 team in all the land, your reigning, defending, undisputed college football playoff national champion, Ohio State Buckeyes. But they got a tough one on the road. They got to go up against the Washington Huskies from Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium in Seattle. Big Ten on CBS, you know who that means. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, and Ohio State opening up as an 8-point favorite. It's got to be Ohio State. In the interest of not burying the lead, Ohio State is the winner. There are just too many injuries on the Washington defense right now. However, this is an ideal opportunity to see whether Washington's offense can handle elite competition and make the Dogs a threat to sneak into the college football playoff. But I don't see that happening. I think Ohio State will win this one somewhat comfortably, Ohio State, give me Ohio State to beat Washington 38-24. Ohio State over Washington. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, the number one team in all the land, the Ohio State Buckeyes, national champs on the road against the Washington Huskies as part of another one of our favorites, the Big Ten on CBS.
Yeah, it's definitely another one of our favorites, and yeah, this is another game that it's actually could be closer than what everyone thinks. I mean, on paper, you would think Ohio State would have no problem with Washington, but I think Washington's going to put up a fight. But I think at the end of the day, the Buckeyes will make some plays and pull it out at the end. So give me the Buckeyes to win this. So let's move on to the next game.
I said there was a double main event. Correction. We have a triple main event, and this is the first game of that triple main event. This is the number 3 game of the week, if you really think about it. Huge game in the SEC. 3:30 on ABC. The number 4 LSU Tigers on the road against the number 13 Ole Miss Rebels. Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Mississippi. ABC's where you can find it. And on the call for this one, it'll be Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath. And believe it or not, Ole Miss is opening up as a 1.5-point favorite. Oh, Bullock, we got to think about this one. Number 4 LSU, number 13 Ole Miss, number 3 game of the week. This is the first game of our triple main event in this loaded week 5.
Wow. I was shocked when I heard that Ole Miss just is actually the favorite. I mean, even though it's only 1.5, that tells you that some people think that maybe they could pull this one off. I mean, yes, LSU is good, but they're going into Ole Miss, and oh man, this is a tough one for me to call. This is one that could go either way.
Absolutely.
Part of me wants to pull the trigger and do it for a third time tonight and go for the upset. Oh man, this is. You know what? What the heck? I mean, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean,
all right.
I think Ole Miss is gonna do it. I mean, they are at home. They're the favorites. Even though it's only 1.5, I think they got what it takes to pull it off here. And I'm going to do it. So I got Ole Miss upsetting LSU. So Florio, I mean, are you going to pull another Lee Corso? Not so fast, my friend. That's for you, my brother.
Well, I'll tell you in just a moment. The LSU Ole Miss point spread is indicative of how close the top teams in the SEC are to each other. LSU is 9 spots ahead of Ole Miss in the AP Top 25, but it is a 1.5-point underdog in Oxford on Saturday. LSU is in that position thanks to some solid play from quarterback Garrett Nussmeier and a strong defense. None of LSU's 4 opponents scored more than 10 points against them. It might be hard to contain Ole Miss's high-powered offense, but the Tigers' defense is the biggest X factor in this SEC battle. Ole Miss allowed its 2 SEC opponents to score 58 points. That's concerning because the Kentucky Wildcats and Arkansas Razorbacks are not close to the top half of the SEC. Unless Ole Miss fixes its defensive issues in 1 week, it's hard to trust the Rebels even at home. LSU's defense is more trustworthy, and in a close game, that is the one unit that can make a big play or two and shift the course of this SEC battle. I've given it a lot of thought. Now, we don't know whether Austin Simmons with an ankle injury is going to start for Ole Miss, and Coach Lane Kiffin likely won't say anything. Operating under the assumption that Trinidad Chambliss is QB1, believe it or not, Bullock, I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to take the Rebels. His mobility will be a critical asset against a very talented LSU secondary. When plays break down, Chambliss can create with his feet to keep drives alive and help Ole Miss snatch a massive win. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to pull the trigger also. Give me Ole Miss to pull the upset. 28-24. Ole Miss upsets LSU. But would we be surprised if LSU stole this one? No. They are that good. So, but we're going to take a chance.
And we got some breaking news. The Arizona Cardinals just scored a touchdown. And
they have scored a touchdown.
And do they get the extra point? And we have a tie game.
Just as it looked like the Seattle Seahawks were going to run away with this game.
So
Not so fast, my friend.
So unless something crazy happens, it looks like we're going to overtime.
Well, this game in one found swoop. This game went from a dud to a 5-star classic.
Yeah, it looked like Seattle had this one, but Arizona ain't done yet.
They scored a touchdown. Zach Charbonnet scored a touchdown. We thought that was going to be the death nail, but it got called back because of a penalty on Jackson Smith and Jigba. They got into field goal range, but they missed the field goal wide right, and that opened the door for Arizona, and we got ourselves a brand new ball game here, 2020. And it looks like, for all intents and purposes, we're on our way to overtime in the desert. Oh, man, 28 seconds to go. Amazon Prime Video. Get there now if you have it. Or for those of you in Seattle and Arizona, if you don't, head on over to your respective Fox affiliates. Seattle, your Fox affiliate. Arizona, your Fox affiliate. So get on there now. You do not want to miss that. And we'll keep you updated as soon as we get anything. All right. So with that being said, let's move on now. And we have another good game here. That's the theme of this week. Great matchups here, with the exception of maybe two. We already got through the first dud game. We have another dud game later, but let's get into our next 3:30 matchup. Another good one out of the SEC. The number 9 Texas A&M Aggies squaring off against the Auburn Tigers. Texas A&M, the home team. They're back at their home at Kyle Field in College Station. Auburn coming to town. This game on ESPN. And on the call for this one, the voice of Monday Night Raw, Mr. Joe Tessitore, alongside of Jesse Palmer and Katie George. And Texas A&M opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. I believe this one goes to me, so let's dive on into this one. To say Auburn's offensive line looked like Swiss cheese against Oklahoma would be disrespectful. Texas A&M, which has notched 8+ tackles for loss in each game so far, will cause plenty of headaches again. I'm going with Texas A&M to defeat Auburn. 31-20, Texas A&M defeats Auburn. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Texas A&M they're back at home, fresh off of their biggest win in recent history, stealing one in Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago. They got Auburn coming in. Can Texas A&M keep up their hot start? I say they can, and they will. 31-20. What says you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Texas A&M can keep this hot start going, and I don't see it. I don't see Auburn putting a stop to it. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M as well. So it's yours, Florio.
All right. And with that, we move on to our final 3:30 game. Another good one here. This one coming from the Big Ten. We have the now number 11 Indiana Hoosiers on the road against the Iowa Hawkeyes, Kinnick Stadium in Des Moines, Iowa. And this game will be exclusively on Peacock. And on the call for that game will be Paul Burmeister, and back in the broadcast booth, Phil Simms. Great to have Phil back in the booth. He'll be working alongside of Paul Burmeister, and Indiana opening up as a 7.5-point favorite. The theme of the week, Bullock, surprising teams off to hot starts, and Can Indiana keep up their hot start going to? But then again, Des Moines, Iowa, tough place to win. Kinnick Stadium. I mean, can Indiana keep their momentum going after that smashing of Illinois?
Yeah, yeah, but like you said, playing it. I mean, going to Kinnick Stadium. I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, with that environment, Iowa can have a chance here, but I think Indiana. I think, especially coming off of that blowout win over Illinois, I expect that momentum for them to continue here. So I'm going with the Indiana Hoosiers to win this one. So it's yours, Florio.
Iowa seemingly always has that nonsensical win over a visiting ranked opponent. But I'm not going to pick against Kirk Cignetti after the Hoosiers put a stunning smackdown on Illinois last week. It will be close, but I think Illinois will pull away. I mean, I got Indiana pulling away late. Indiana wins. My final score, 27-17. Indiana defeats Iowa. So with that, we move on. 4:15 kickoff, and this will be over on the SEC network. Yet another good one. Look at this matchup in the SEC. The number 15 Tennessee Volunteers on the road against the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And that will emanate from Davis Wade Stadium at Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi. SEC Network is where you can find this game. And on the call for that one, it will be Dave Neal and Fozzie Whitaker. And Tennessee opening up as an 8.5-point favorite. So, all right. Mississippi State. The question is, should we believe in them? The earlier upset of Arizona State put Mississippi State on the radar. And taking down Tennessee would send the Bulldogs soaring into the headlines. Oh, hold on. The Seattle Seahawks are in field goal range. They have a chance to win it right here.
All right, here we go.
52.
Could they do it?
Jason Myers.
And it is good.
He got it. Seattle wins.
Oh.
What was that about overtime?
What?
You said it unless something crazy happened. Well, crazy happened.
Well, it did. Oh, boy, almost a stunt. Yeah, I mean, Seattle could have crumbled over this, but you know what? They came back after a touchdown like that, and to be able to get into field goal range and win it, man. But if you're Arizona, you got to be devastated to fight this hard to tie the game and to lose it like that. It's going to be.
And 52 yards is not a gimme. I mean, it looked a little dicey, but he just snuck it in there.
Yeah, he just snuck it in there. Any further to the right, and we would have gone to overtime.
Jason Myers, the hero, and the Seattle Seahawks defeat the Arizona Cardinals 23-20. Seattle improves to 3-1 on the season. Arizona drops to 2-2. And next week, and as far as their next games are concerned, the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, they got a good one next week. Next Sunday, October the 5th, they're going to be welcoming the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to town. That's one of the games of the week right there. That's a goodie. As far as Arizona is concerned, they will be going home and they will have the Tennessee Titans coming in. So that could be a possible get-right game for Arizona. But man, oh man, what a game. From a dud to a classic in one foul swoop. But the Seattle Seahawks somehow, some way, avoided overtime, gets it done, 23-20. We'll talk more about this tomorrow night on NFL Friday. So with that, let's get back to College Football Thursday here. And all right, as I was saying about this, about the Tennessee-Mississippi State matchup, should we believe in Mississippi State? The earlier upset of Arizona State put them on the radar, and taking down Tennessee would send the Bulldogs soaring into the headlines and into the top 25. However, I think Tennessee's offense ends up carrying the Vols here. But Mississippi State has a real chance for a statement win. It's a close game. It's a high-scoring game. But I think Tennessee will just barely pull it out. Give me Tennessee to win 34-28. Tennessee just barely gets by Mississippi State. But Tennessee should most certainly be on upset alert. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, number 15, Tennessee on the road against Mississippi State. Trap game for the Vols.
Yeah, this is definitely a trap game for the Vols. I mean, I think Mississippi State will definitely give Tennessee some fits here, but I think at the end they will pull this one out. So give me the Volunteers to win this one. So let's move on to our next game.
And I do believe we get into the primetime games now. Yes, we do. 7 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. The number 14 Iowa State Cyclones at home at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa. And they're going to be welcoming the Arizona Wildcats. ESPN is where you'll find this game, and it'll be Dave Fleming alongside of Brock Osweiler. I don't know who their reporter is. I think it's Cherie Burris, but I'm not sure. Iowa State is opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. So Michael Bullock, number 14, Iowa State at home against Arizona to kick off the primetime games.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be another close one here. I mean, I think Arizona will give Iowa State some fits here in this game, but eventually I think they will make some plays and basically pull this one out. So I'm going to go with Iowa State to win this. So it is yours, Florio.
Yeah. I have Iowa State winning as well. While the numbers are impressive for Arizona so far, Iowa State is a significant step up in competition. The physicality of Iowa State's blockers, which is usually the offensive line and at least 2 tight ends, will be a stout challenge. Throw in Arizona's penalty issues, and an upset on the road seems unlikely. I got Iowa State winning as well. My final score, 24-16. Iowa State defeats Arizona. Oh, baby, here we go. The next 2 games are the 2 big ones, the two biggest games of the week, the 2 huge main events. And we started off with the game that, with all due respect, I consider the main event of week number 5. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. The number 3 Penn State Nittany Lions at home against the number 6 Oregon Ducks. West Shore, home field at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. You know who that means. Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, Catherine Tappan. They will be in Happy Valley. And Penn State opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. So with all that being said, let's dive on in to this biggie. Oregon and Penn State took different winning paths to their Saturday night clash in Happy Valley. Oregon had arguably the best-looking offense among the college football playoff contenders. The Ducks have put up 203 points across 4 games. Their most notable win was a 69-3 smashing of the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Penn State totaled 132 points in their 3 games against Group of 5 and FCS programs. But the overall statistics do not look great. Penn State quarterback Drew Aller only has 626 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. His completion percentage is 64.8. Penn State made a point to upgrade its wide receivers in the transfer portal, but so far they have not totally meshed with Aller, partly because of the quarterback's play. Oregon quarterback Dante Moore has a far more robust set of stats, with 962 yards, 11 touchdown passes, and a 74.7 completion percentage. The Ducks have the better offense on paper, but they have not faced an environment like the one they will see in State College on Saturday night. And Bullock, I can confirm this is a whiteout game. And you know what that means. Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
Penn State is 7-1 in their last 8 whiteout games inside of Beaver Stadium. 5 of those wins came against ranked teams. If the Nittany Lions can find their footing in the passing game, they can ride the home field advantage to a win. A rematch of last season's Big Ten championship game. This is a huge narrative day. Penn State is 4-20 against top 10 opponents in the James Franklin era. And Drew Aller historically has been mediocre or worse against that level of competition. At home, at night, in the whiteout environment, the context is ideal for Penn State. I don't know. Will it be enough to clip Oregon? Maybe, maybe not. But Happy Valley, whiteout. How can you go against Penn State? You can't. Now, if the game was in Eugene, if it was at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, totally different story. Then I got Oregon all day. But Penn State, especially with a whiteout, I can't go against Penn State. I mean, I want to go with Oregon to win because I think Oregon's is a little better. But I'm going to take a chance and go with Penn State. That whiteout, that hangs over me. That just hangs over you. So I'm going to go with Penn State to win this one. 27-21. Penn State defeats Oregon. But would I be surprised if Oregon stole this one? Absolutely not. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, this is what the words main event were truly meant for. Because this right here, this is the main event. Brother, it don't get no bigger. Oregon and Penn State in a whiteout in Happy Valley. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. Let's go.
And so big, you got the game day crew going to be there for that.
Yes, and LeVar Harrington.
And I was just about to mention that one of their all-time great players, LeVar Arrington, is going to be the guest picker. So if that doesn't tell you how big this game is, I don't know what is. I mean, yeah, like you said, if this game was in Oregon, I go with the Ducks too. But it's Penn State, and it's a whiteout. How can you not go with Penn State? I mean, when you got, I don't know how many people in that. How many people are in that stadium?
100,000 plus.
Yeah, when you got 100,000 plus with a whiteout, that's an experience you got to see for yourself. And how can you go against them when you got over 100,000 fans in a whiteout? And also this is a chance to Penn State that they can prove that, hey, Ohio State may be the defending national champions, but don't overlook us. Don't overlook us. And maybe this is a team that could dethrone Ohio State somewhere down the line.
Could be.
And when are they going to be playing them?
Just hang on one second here while I pull up the schedule here. I do believe they meet. I do believe Penn State and Ohio State will clash eventually. I just got to see when that is.
But
yes. Penn State, Ohio State, November 1st. In Ohio State. It's in the Horseshoe.
Well, I hope both of these teams are undefeated going into that. Because
there's a good chance they could.
Because is it going to be? It's going to be at Ohio State, right?
Yes, the Horseshoe.
Oh boy, yeah, that's gonna. Well, we'll see if that is the case when we get to. But I got Penn State winning this. Like I said, like you said too, whiteout over 100,000. You can't go against them.
No.
If this was in Oregon at Autzen Stadium, then I'd be going for the upset. But it's Beaver Stadium, 100,000, whiteout. No, can't go against Penn State. So Penn State wins. It's yours.
You ready for the other big main event?
Mm-hmm.
The other half of that big double main event, also at 7:30. The ABC Saturday night game of the week. The number 5 Maine and Georgia Bulldogs at home at Sanford Stadium in the Hedges, welcoming the number 17 Alabama Crimson Tide. In a game of this magnitude, there's only one crew who can work it. You know who that is.
Yep.
Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe. Georgia opening up as a 3-point favorite. Wow, Bo, Oregon and Penn State and Bama and Georgia on at the same damn time. Holy hell.
This is the one time where you're going to need 2 TVs for this.
2 screen or a device that has a multi-screen feature.
Which thankfully you have, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so you're going to have the ability to watch both of those.
Indeed, I will.
Yeah, so, man, yeah, this is a chance for Georgia here. I mean, because all these years we've been talking about Alabama being, even though last year was a totally different story, but this is a chance for Georgia to tell Alabama, hey, your time is up. Our time is now. But for Alabama, if they want to prove that they're still the kings of that SEC, they need a win like this. They need a win over a top 5 team like Georgia. So this is going to be a really good one. I cannot wait for this. But because it's at Sanford Stadium, I got to go with the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs to win this one. And Florio, as I give it to you, this is going to be Georgia's way of saying to Alabama, like John Cena would always say, your time is up and my time is, and our time is now.
Very well said. Very well said. Georgia must be viewed as the favorite over Alabama for a few reasons. The Bulldogs are at home, but they are also the more battle-tested team this early in the season compared to the Crimson Tide. Kirby Smart's team picked up a road win at Tennessee 2 weeks ago. Alabama fell short by 2 touchdowns in Tallahassee in week 1 in a game that was not competitive at all. Alabama improved since the opening loss, but it still has to prove its game can travel well. Georgia already looks like a well-oiled machine, and it's sustained every threat Tennessee posed in week 3. Ty Simpson's quarterback play is Alabama's biggest question mark. Simpson was 23 for 43 against Florida State, and while he put up big numbers in Bama's 2 wins, he's still an unproven commodity. Georgia quarterback Gunnar Stockton doesn't have a massive archive of big game play either, but he proved in Knoxville that he can lead Georgia to wins in top 25 battles. The quarterback edge, home field, and Georgia's early season play makes it easy to take the Bulldogs in this one. Yes, Alabama won a thrilling game between these two in Tuscaloosa last year, but little about that contest is applicable here. New quarterbacks, new venue, and so on. The main question is what defenses show up in Athens. Bama looked shockingly soft in a week 1 loss at Florida State, and Tennessee put up nearly 500 yards in Georgia's overtime win. I am going to go with Georgia to limit Bama's rushing attack and snag a valuable home win. So I'm going to go with the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs as well. Close game, 28-23, Georgia over Alabama. 2 games left, and we have a 7:30 game here. The number 20, Missouri Tigers, at home at Memorial Stadium in Farott Field. Memorial Stadium / Farott Field in Columbia, Missouri. And they're going to be welcoming the UMass Minutemen to town. And this game will be over on ESPN University. Courtney Lyle and Renee Angalia on the call. And Missouri opening up as the biggest favorite of the week. Missouri opening up as a 44.5-point favorite. Yeah, I think we all know who wins this one. It's gonna be Missouri. Through 3 games, UMass has surrendered 6.3 yards per snap in losses to Temple, Bryant, and Iowa. I would not anticipate many issues for Mizzou. Mizzou wins this one going away, lock of the week, 52-10. Mizzou all over UMass. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, quick thought: UMass and Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri all day. There's really nothing more to say. Let's move on.
Our final game of the night. Before we get into our quick preview of NXT No Mercy that goes down Saturday night on Peacock, a 10:15 kickoff on ESPN. The number 25 BYU Cougars on the road against the Colorado Buffaloes from Folsom Field in Boulder. ESPN is where you can find this game, and it'll be Mark Jones, Roddy Jones, and Quint Kessenich. BYU opening up as a 7-point favorite. Michael Bullock, you lead off on the final game of the night. We have number 25 BYU on the road against Coach Prime in Colorado.
Yeah, this is this should be another good one here. I mean, but at the end of the day, it's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be close, but I got BYU winning this one, no doubt about it. BYU wins over Colorado. So, Florio, you have the final say before we get into No Mercy.
Which version of Kadon Salter are we going to see? That answer will probably shape the result in Boulder. BYU has not been tested, but should be able to contain Colorado's talented yet inconsistent dual-threat quarterback. I got BYU winning as well. My final score, 31-24. BYU holds off Coach Prime and Colorado. So with that being said, let's get into our preview of NXT No Mercy. And NXT No Mercy will be live this Saturday night from the FTL War Memorial in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, exclusively on Peacock here in the United States. And it will be the first No Mercy to broadcast on Netflix for those of you internationally. We have a 6-match card. And without any further ado, let's dive on in. All right, we're going to go from bottom to top on this one. We're going to start it off with Javon Evans squaring off against Josh Briggs. This is the only match on the show that is not for a title, nor does it have a stipulation. This is simply 2 men who do not like each other, and they want to destroy each other. This singles bout will be between 2 men who have a huge size difference. Josh Briggs will have the power advantage, but Evans will have the speed and experience advantage. This match could steal the show as both men are fantastic wrestlers. They should get 15 minutes to have a barn burner. And because he needs a big win, I believe Javon Evans will get the win back from their recent bout on NXT. Josh Briggs can win other matches. So I'm going to go with Javon Evans to defeat Josh Briggs. Not much more to say. Michael Bullock, who you got? Javon Evans against Josh Briggs.
Yeah, Javon Evans, he definitely needs this win over Josh Briggs, especially after what happened the last time when Josh Briggs literally stole one from him. And it would be so dumb if they had Josh Briggs go over again, because he has so much heat right now and so much go away heat. But Javon Evans, yeah, I'm with you. I got him winning this one as well. So let's move on to the next match.
Jordan Grace versus Blake Monroe in a weaponized steel cage match.
Yeah, this ain't no ordinary steel cage match. It's going to be a weaponized steel cage. There are going to be weapons all over that place, and with this rivalry so much heated, yeah, it's going to be so brutal here, and I think Jordan Grace really needs this more. I mean, especially after their last encounter. So I'm going to go with Jordan Grace to win this one. So it's yours, Florio.
This will be the most brutal match on the entire show. This will be the second match between these two at a pay-per-view. The first match was won by Blake Monroe, but Jordan Grace has not stopped feuding with her. I believe this will be the final match of their rivalry. This will be a steel cage match, but full of weapons. This little stipulation makes it different from a normal steel cage bout. This will be a great match, and Blake Monroe will have an advantage. Once again, Bullock, just like during the college football, I got to respectfully disagree with you. I'm going to go with Blake Monroe. I believe Blake Monroe will win this match, as Shawn Michaels would want to give her a definitive win and propel her to the NXT Women's Championship picture. Jordan Grace will lose absolutely nothing, as she is one of their biggest stars. I'm going with Blake Monroe to win this weaponized steel cage match. Every match from here on in, title matches. Get ready. First up, for the WWE Women's Speed Championship, the champion, Sol Ruca, defending against the winner of that number one contender tournament, Lainey Reed. This will be the most unique match on the show. This will be the only match that will have a fixed time allotted to it. Both of these women will have 5 minutes to win this match and become the Speed Champion. Sol Ruca has been the WWE Women's Speed Champion for months, and she has been a double champion in NXT. Lainey Reed is one of the youngest women in NXT. This is a tough match to call because of Zarya. Zarya will be in the corner of Sol Ruca, but she is upset and can turn heel. And because of this, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to say the winner and new WWE Speed Women's Champion, Lainey Reed. I think she's going to win the match and win the title, and I think this is where we'll finally get the implosion of Sol Ruca and Zarya. And I think we get a feud out of this. So winner and new WWE Women's Speed Champion, Lainey Reed. Michael Bullock, what says you?
Yeah, we've been seeing, Flora, that there was some miscommunication with Zarya and Sol Ruca, especially I think with the most recent thing where Sol Ruca hit the Soul Snatcher on Zarya when it was meant for one of the other opponents. And I think eventually you're going to see that breakup happen, and I'm with you. I think it's going to happen at No Mercy, and yeah, I'm going to say it too. Winner and new Speed Champion, Lainey Reed. So it's yours.
NXT North American Championship on the line. Champion Ethan Page defending against Tavion Heights. Michael Bullock, who you got?
Oh man, this is a tough one for me to call. I mean, Tavion Heights has worked. I mean, he's worked so hard to finally get this opportunity, and part of me wants to see him finally get this moment and to finally win a singles championship. But I got this funny feeling that All Ego Ethan Page is gonna win it. So I'm gonna say winner and still the NXT North American Champion, All Ego Ethan Page. But and I'm gonna do it. He's gonna cheat to win. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Ethan Page has been a mainstay in NXT for the past nearly couple years. He has been a champion for the majority of his run, and Ethan Page is not getting any younger. Tavion Heights is one of the best young wrestlers in NXT. He has been making a name for himself, and he will look to win his first singles title. This match will be physical, and although Tavion Heights should win the title, I believe it'll be Ethan Page that will retain the NXT North American Championship. Shawn Michaels would not want to lose him at this time. Ethan Page is one of the most dependable stars in NXT, whether you like the guy or you don't. To be honest, I would love to see Tavion get the title here, but I got to go with Ethan Page right now. So, winner and still NXT North American Champion, all ego, Ethan Page. NXT Women's Championship on the line. The champion, Jacy Jayne, defending against the number one contender, Lola Vice. The biggest women's match of this show. It will be the NXT Women's Champion, Jacy Jayne, and she will take on Lola Vice for the title. Jacy Jayne has been the most improved women's wrestler in WWE over the last year. She has been a great heel champion, but Lola Vice will be her toughest challenge. Lola Vice has been in NXT for more than 2 years, and she has finally reached the level where Shawn Michaels can trust her with the title. This will be an incredible match, and according to that daily rumor roundup sheet I read, they're calling for the 2 big titles to change hands. And because of that, and then also, let's not forget that it was that same publication that listed Stephanie Vaquer as the betting line favorite to defeat Io Sky for that vacant Women's World Championship at WrestlePalooza. So because of this, I mean, I know Lola got over on JC on NXT, but I think it's Lola's time. And we've also seen the disintegration, the slow implosion of Fatal Influence after what they did to Jasmine Nix this past Tuesday on NXT, which led to a real-life exit. Jasmine Nix, she took her ball and she left. She's no longer in NXT. She's no longer in WWE. So that was done as a way to write her off, in a sense, to kill her off, in a sense. So I think that might be a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to take a chance here. Winner and new NXT Women's Champion, Lola Vice. And you've seen how they've been presenting her on TV with that excellent 2-part vignette video from the top-notch production team. We all know how damn good the production team is at their jobs with those incredible video packages. And when you see a video package like that, it's hard not to root against her. So I know she got over on JC on NXT this past Tuesday night. That normally suggests booking 101 where JC would retain the title, and I would not be surprised if that happens. But I got this feeling that it's Lola's time. Winner and new NXT Women's Champion, Lola Vice. Michael Bullock, this is your bread and butter. This is the bread and butter of your show, the women's division. I think we have I think come Saturday night, we're going to have a new flag bearer.
Well, I hate to do this to you, Florio, but I'm going to pull a not so fast, my friend, on you.
I had a feeling.
I mean, not only because of the booking 101, but from what I've heard some dirt sheets, Florio, that they're thinking about bringing in, a replacement for for Jasmine Nix. And I heard the name Lanny Reed as the new third member of Fatal Influence.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's from what I heard. And
we'll see.
And I think this is where they could, just when you look like Lola Vice is going to somehow win the title, I think this is where Lanny Reed is going to come in, be a distraction, and Jacy Jayne's going to take advantage of it. So, would I be shocked if Lola Vice won the title? No, I wouldn't be. But because of what I heard about them maybe having Lanny Reed be the new Fatal Influence member, I'm sorry to say this, but I disagree with you, Florio. I'm going to say winner and still the NXT Women's Champion, Jacy Jayne. So
fair enough.
That's where I'm going with. So it's yours.
Main event time. NXT Championship on the line. The champion, Oba Femi, defending against the number one contender, Ricky Saints. Michael Bullock, is it still the ruler's time, or will the revolution really be televised?
Oh man, I mean, this is another tough one here. I mean, I really want to see Ricky Saints be the one to finally do this, but with the way Obafemi, I mean, he's just been so dominant, so good as NXT champion. I mean, until I see something that makes me believe that Ricky Saints is going to do it, I'm sorry. As they say, until the champ gets defeated, you can't go against them. So I'm going to say winner, and still the NXT champion, the ruler, Oba Femi. It's yours, Florio.
Who? Yeah. This will be the main event of the show. It will be between two of the biggest men's stars of NXT for the NXT championship. Obafemi has been the most dominant champion in WWE, not just NXT, but all of WWE. He has had bangers against everyone, and he even fought the TNA heavyweight champion, Trick Williams, this past Tuesday night. Ricky Saints is one of the biggest signings in NXT in the last few years. He has been the NXT North American champion, but this is another level altogether. This will be a great match, but Obafemi will win this match and continue to remain the NXT champion. And I believe Ricky Saints could be on his way to the main roster soon enough. So winner and still NXT champion, the ruler, Obafemi. So with that, will put the bow on this edition of TXN, of this week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We will be back with you again tomorrow night, right back here on the Tone 25 at 10:30 for the week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, where we will recap that wild and crazy Seahawks Cardinal game. And we will also get into the remaining games of week number 4. We got some good ones, including the Vikings and the Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. Micah Parsons returning to Dallas as a Green Bay Packer against the Cowboys on Sunday night. Some other great games, Philly and Tampa. That's the big game on the NFC side. Some other good games, Indianapolis against the Rams, Jacksonville and San Francisco. And although the records don't indicate it, it's still the headline of the week. The Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. That and so much more tomorrow night on NFL Friday. I don't know if we're going to have a NXT recap on Saturday night. We'll have to see what MF says. Hopefully we'll have him back with us tomorrow night and he can help us set the future content. And then Tuesday night, of course, we have Monday Night Raw. We have Monday Night Raw on NXT, a Thursday Night Football preview, the LA Rams and the San Francisco 49ers. And next week on College Football Thursday, we got another decent slate of games here. I mean, but the ones that truly stand out, the headline games for next week, Vanderbilt against Alabama. Let's see if Vanderbilt's really that for real. And you also have Texas against Florida. But the game of the week next week, Saturday night game of the week on ABC, an MF special, Miami and Florida State. The biggest Miami-Florida State game in years. I can't remember the last time Miami and Florida State had this much excitement to it. But for the first time in a long time, Miami and Florida State. It's the biggest game they've had in forever and a day. So that's the headliner next week. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, this is Anthony Florio here for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night, for the week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, you've been watching the week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streamay.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.